I mean, Anthony Joshua has been singing the praises of Derek James, his new trainer, say that, he's been teaching him a lot of stuff. He said Rob McCracken was actually a great trainer, but didn't teach him defence. And he said, and that was a big problem. And he feels that actually he lost some best parts of his career, or the best years of his career, training with Robert, and he never learned any sort of defence. And he said, he mentioned your name and said, you've only got to look at Cole Froch and have a look at his nose and see that Rob doesn't teach defence. Have you spoke to him about that? Have you DM'd him about that?
No. Listen, first of all, I've got to laugh. Secondly, what I'll say to that is, for a grown man to try and personally insult another grown man on his physical appearance, for me, that's a move. Yeah?
Why would he come out with that?
Well, just let him come out with that. Let him have it. And I sincerely hope he's talking about the old nose and not the newly constructed piece of artwork that I'm carrying around on my face at the minute. Because I'm actually quite happy.
To be fair, that's a beautiful nose.
I'm quite happy with this. Yeah, I think so too. Your points made and raised about Anthony Joshua, who, by the way, gave this lovely piece of artwork that's I'm carrying around on my face, my nose. He gave it a bit of stick the other day. It didn't upset me. I can't say it without laughing. It didn't upset me. People think I'm upset. I don't. You can call me and slag me off all you want. I've got real thick skin. I've got rhino skin. You can't hurt me. I'm like Teflon. I worked on building sites most of my life, even whilst I was boxing. You can't hurt me or upset me. And like I said yesterday on TalkSport, I sincerely hope he's talking about my old nose that I used to use as a battering ram, because this piece of artwork that I'm carrying around on my face, look at it, it's beautiful. Look how straight that is. I'm very pleased with this hooter, but you don't need to lower yourself to insulting the Cobra's looks. Cobra's quite happy with his looks, and Anthony Joshua, you should be more concerned about getting yourself in great shape, getting the sparring, getting the running done, and getting yourself in perfect condition to beat these guys that are in front of you.
And those are the words of Carl the Cobra Froch as he responds to Anthony Joshua's comments about his nose once again. Now, as you heard Carl Froch say, that was a bitch move from Anthony Joshua to physically talk about a man's physical appearance or attributes, okay? And Carl said it didn't hurt him, but he called it a bitch move. And he did mention his new nose, his new beautiful piece of artwork. Look how straight it is. And let me counterpunch. First of all, if something doesn't bother you, you wouldn't bring it up again and again and again. He mentioned it on Talk Sports. He mentioned it on Carl Froch on Boxing, which is his new YouTube channel, which is doing very well. And he took time to mention how his nose looked in comparison to how it was, in comparison to how it is. And how it was more like a damn Loch Ness monster, a Viking nose, a Ragnarok nose, okay? He had a snout on him. It looked like a crow. So yeah, like he said, he used it as a battering ram. And for anyone, okay, to reconstruct or reconfigure or edit or alter themselves, obviously he had a problem with the shit too, okay? You don't get a nose job if you are that damn happy with the nose that you had. If you were proud of that nose that you used as a battering ram, you wouldn't have used or went to a specialist to construct a beautiful piece of artwork. You wouldn't have done that. And for him to mention that again and again, you can tell that was one thing about Carl Froch that he did not like. Maybe his wife mentioned that, but knowing Carl Froch thought of that shit probably throughout his career, and that's probably what he thought. As soon as I get out of this boxing game, I'm getting me a nose job. I'm tired of looking at this fucking nose, And if he's talking about the nose that he used as a battering ram, the comparison was, hey, is the defense. And him using it as a battering ram, does that convey that he was using defense the way he should have? And Carl said, well, that was a dig at Rob McCracken. No, that was a dig at you. Okay. And I think it wasn't even Rob McCracken. So I don't even think it was fair to bring Rob McCracken into the situation or into the question. The argument that he used, and as he admitted, I used my shit as a battering ram. I didn't really care on how much I got hit. I was trying to hit the other guy. He hits me. I hit him. So what? Okay. I don't think that's fair to bring Rob McCracken into it, criticizing him for defense. If anything, speaking of Rob McCracken briefly, because this is not about Rob, Rob, according to Anthony Joshua, was a good trainer, and he reminds me of the trainer that he has now, but he was just there more. He's more in depth, and Rob McCracken wasn't. So I don't think that was a real big dig at Rob McCracken, because those are the things that Anthony Joshua described about Rob McCracken. He just wasn't there because he had a lot going on. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. I think the disguise for Carl Froch is, let's blast Anthony Joshua because I'm pissed at how he mentioned my nose. Yes, I know it was fucked up, Anthony, but you don't have to mention it to the world now. I don't even have it no more. Look at this nose. Look at this nose. You got to love Carl Froch, though, because Carl is going to let you know how he feels. And if anybody is self-conscious of himself, that's Carl the Cobra Froch. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Carl Froch. Again, blasting Anthony Joshua, calling it a bitch move. And I will leave you guys with this. Talking about physical attributes. Carl Froch did mention that Anthony Joshua is too big. Too many muscles on muscles. Do you guys remember that? Right? So if that ain't a dig at someone physically, I don't know what is. But to be fair, I do agree with Carl Froch, like a lot of other people. Being Anthony Joshua, being a professional boxer, you don't need all those muscles. You don't. You know, and I think he said that and mentioned that for a particular reason, but he had to bring up his physical attributes to do it. Okay, meaning that he could be faster, he could be quicker, he could have more stamina because he doesn't have the muscles as a handicap, okay, as a truckload to carry around in fights round after round. Makes sense? There you go. So I don't see Anthony Joshua pissed because people says he has muscles on top of muscles. So I say fair play. Bars. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Carl Froch. Counterpunch on Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.